Hey everyone, welcome. So before we get into our paint job, first things first, you have your blank. Tape off the lip, unless you want to have a colored lip. I don't, so tape it off. I hit these with a bit of a degreaser. You can use airbrush cleaner, alcohol, just even like a wipe or whatever, just to get that grease off, that grime, whatever comes from the factory. Yeah, get that off there. Next, we're going to use my Sealer White from Auto Air Colors. I've had this for ages. It does a really good job. Layers on nicely. I do reduce it 1 to 1 with here we go. Wicked Colors Reducer. You probably don't have to if it's new, but like I said, that bottle is just ancient and gets a little temperamental in its older years. Next, pliers. In you go. Inside we have our paint reduced 1 to 1. It kind of has like a skim milk consistency. And we'll get some focus on here. There we go. Secret's going to be nice thin layers at a time. Don't go on too thick, you'll get these blotches. That's not fun. It's a pain, looks bad, hard to fix. Get the nose. A real in-depth process here, so not really much to say. Okay. Basically just keep going until you can't see the little rattly bits. Think we're there. Okay. For this, you could heat set in between, use a hair dryer, heat gun, whatever else it is. I like to let them sit overnight. I find that overnight, this base coat just gets a little bit tougher, a little bit harder, so that when you put other layers on top, if you make a mistake, you overspray, whatever else it is, when you go through with your Q-tip, which I'm sure I'll show you at some point, just to kind of clean out that little detail, it doesn't remove the base coat. So yeah, that's about as interesting as I can make a base coat. So thanks. Bye. Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. I can't just leave this at a base coat video. That's incredibly boring. I love watching paint get laid down, but even I find that boring. So let's skip ahead one day to right now. Base coat's dried, and let's add some color. What we're gonna do for this is we're gonna make it kind of like Fire Tiger-ish. Fire Tiger is hands down my favorite pattern. It works in all sorts of conditions. I think, as I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of like stained, murky water type fishing, so I always find that Fire Tiger stands out quite well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Jacquard Iridescent Yellow. It has a little shiny flake kind of thing inside there, but it still flows very nicely through an airbrush. The goal, we're going to paint the belly, come up on the side a little bit, but probably just right below that gill plate. We're going to start blending our colors together for our base coat. Let me just focus there for you. Alright. And yeah, we'll figure it out as we go along. Can you see? There we go. Nice and even. I'm not too concerned about the overspray. In fact, I actually want a little bit of that overspray to kind of hit the bottom of that gill plate right there. Gives it a nice look in the finish. And maybe just a little more. Come up the side. Our next color is going to be a green. It's actually going to be same brand, Jacquard, iridescent green. Mixing the two, the yellow and the green, it's actually going to give us like that chartreuse kind of color. So I'm not too concerned about having the yellow come up a little bit further than planned. Okay. Gonna add a little bit of heat. Doesn't have to be a lot, just to kind of set that color in. Okay, back we come, and we're just going to go kind of straight across the body with that green. There we go. Man, I like that. Get the nose there. So that nice iridescent yellow belly fading into a nice iridescent green side. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna change into some orange, and then we'll finish the top. Okay, next up we have some fluorescent orange, Jacquard as well. And I put this on the back. I know typically Fire Tiger has orange on the belly, but why not? So, here we go. There we go. Kind of blends in nicely. Little pop on the top. Excellent. Okay, next step, we're going to use our Wicked Colors, Detailed Moss Green, and we're going to spray it through just some ribbon, some decorative ribbon. You can find it really at any dollar store, Walmart. Usually comes out around Halloween time, I find. And yeah, just place that over the bluer. Pinch up all the slack. Get the clips. I think that's all the ones I have. And basically you just kind of bunch it all up at the part that you're not going to be spraying the stencil on. Doing that through a camera is difficult. There we go. And yeah, simply just pinch up all the extra slack and put a clip on it. And one last clip for the nose area. There. Okay. Next, I've turned the PSI down to somewhere between 10 and 15. And we're going to start just by on the back. Nice and light colors, or light layers. Put some air on there just to kind of dry things up a little bit. That'll work. Before you take the stencil off, just do a quick heat set. Don't keep the heat gun in one place for too long. I like to keep my fingers kind of close to the lip. That way I know if my fingers are getting too warm, I'm in one place for too long. Probably not the best method, but that's all I know. here's my favorite part: getting this ribbon off. Another important thing of doing just light layers at a time is that if you go too thick too soon, when you peel the stencil off, you're going to notice a lot of paint's actually going to come with it. So let's just kind of separate it a little bit. There we go. Peel it back. Yeah. There we go. That's what I want. Oh, that is good. All right. So I'm just going to put a little more of the moss green just kind of around the head here a little bit. Oh, sorry, blocking your view again. And just a quick little stripe down the back. There. I like it. Alright. So I have the eyes. We'll have a look at those in a second. Just a little tiny drop of our Gorilla Glue. There we go. Here's our eye. You see that okay? There we go. Let that sit for a second. There. Yep, I like that. Other side. Okay. There. Turn that up there for you. All right, let me add a little more light. There. Sorry, off camera, I just put some of that little mottled blotch right in the very bottom there as well. Got some up on the gill plate. I think it just adds a nice little something.